I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to address the committee on the critical and deeply personal subject of gender-based violence, specifically intimate partner violence and femicide. My name is Sgt Lisa Harris, and I am a member of the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, the Provincial Police Service of Newfoundland and Labrador. I've been serving with the RNC for almost 20 years, during which time I have had the privilege of working in both urban and rural settings. I've served in operational patrol services, responding to emergency calls as a first responder, in the Internet Child Exploitation Unit, the Child Abuse Sexual Assault Unit, and the Intimate Partner Violence Unit under the Major Crime Unit of the Criminal Investigation Division. Currently, I oversee all of these investigative units as the Criminal Investigation Division Supervisor. I manage major investigations, most notably homicides. This past summer, my colleagues and I had the opportunity to speak with MP Michelle Ferreri about my experiences working in the Intimate Partner Violence Unit, and I would like to thank her personally for providing me with a platform to bring a voice to the many women who are unable to speak for themselves, and especially to those who are no longer with us. Among these women is Courtney Lake, whose story I will share with you today. Courtney Lake was a 24-year-old mother. In April of 2017, she reported being assaulted by her ex-boyfriend, Philip Smith. Smith was arrested and charged for the assault in May. He was placed on conditions to remain away from Courtney and her family. Yet on June 5, 2017, Courtney reported that Smith had breached these conditions by contacting her and showing up at her home. She also disclosed that Smith had shared intimate images of her without her consent. Philip was arrested again and charged with distributing intimate images and breaching his conditions. He was released from custody on June 7, 2017. Less than 24 hours later, Courtney's mother, Lisa, reported her daughter missing. The investigation revealed that after his release, Philip had contacted Courtney, who agreed to meet him to exchange personal belongings. Tragically, Courtney was never seen alive again. While the RNC investigated Courtney's disappearance as a homicide, Philip was located deceased. His death was ruled non-suspicious by the RCMP. He was the only suspect in Courtney's disappearance. Courtney Lake disappeared hours after her abuser was released from custody. She is believed to be a victim of homicide. The death of Courtney Lake highlights the tragic consequences that can happen when those accused of intimate partner violence are allowed to remain free on bail, with little repercussions for breaching court orders. Her story is one of many that demonstrates the urgent need for stricter bail conditions for those accused of intimate partner violence. In IPV cases where power and control imbalances overwhelmingly affect female victims, most police forces take the choice to charge an offender away from the victim. If there are reasonable and probable grounds to lay a charge, the police must act, regardless of the victim's cooperation. The use of electronic monitoring systems, such as ankle bracelets, to monitor offenders and ensure compliance of court orders would assist in police investigations, especially in relation to the compliance of court orders. They would also serve as a deterrent to offenders. Furthermore, this would remove the burden from victims who may fear retaliation or feel isolated from the justice process. In Canada, we have mandatory reporting laws for child abuse, which apply to everyone, from teachers to doctors to politicians. The Public Health Agency of Canada recognizes that children who witness family violence suffer the same emotional and psychological consequences as those who are directly abused. However, public awareness of the impact of witnessing intimate partner violence is lacking. Mandatory reporting laws for intimate partner violence and greater public education about the harm done to children who witness violence, I believe, are areas in need of urgent attention. Canada already has mandatory reporting for health professionals for certain injuries, such as gunshot and stab wounds. Strangulation is an extreme form of coercion and control. Its presence in an intimate partner relationship is also one of the strongest indicators for future intimate partner femicide. Mandatory reporting to police of non-fatal strangulation in healthcare facilities would allow law enforcement to take action to ensure the safety of the victim and possible prevention of a femicide. Coercive control is a serious and pervasive form of domestic violence that impacts the victim's safety, well-being, and mental health. It involves a repeated pattern of behavior used by an abuser to establish and maintain power over the victim, often through tactics such as intimidation, threats, manipulation, and isolation, making it extremely difficult for the victim to escape the cycle of abuse. The effects of coercive control can be long-lasting, often leading to severe psychological trauma, depression, anxiety, and in some cases, physical harm. This pattern of abusive behavior is not just an isolated incident of violence, but an ongoing and calculated effort to dominate and harm the victim. Adding coercive control to the criminal code is necessary to hold the offender accountable and protect the victim from further harm. To be clear, I believe stricter bail conditions, the implementation of mandatory reporting of intimate partner violence and strangulation, criminalizing coercive control are crucial to enhancing the protection of victims and holding abusers accountable. These measures recognize the insidious and often invisible nature of intimate partner violence, including psychological abuse and the dangerous escalation to physical abuse. Together, these measures would create a more robust legal framework that prioritizes victim safety, promotes early intervention, and ensures that perpetrators of intimate partner violence face justice, helping to break the cycle of abuse and prevent further harm. Thank you.